All right, hello, hello. We are back. Have some fun in Morgana tonight. It has been a little bit. I don't fully remember where we're at. I know that we're in pain because that's just been what this game has been. But let's find out where all we're going with it. Um, okay. Sorry, checking audio. Okay, so quick recap. We vowed to kill Amy and bit her as she tortured us, but she just kept kicking us and calling us a demon. The only thing keeping us from committing suicide was memories of happier days of horseback riding with our brothers and arguing about the cat Ugly Speckles. We eventually stopped talking so Amy would get bored and leave us alone, but still went insane. We chewed out our brothers for taking 2 years to break us out, but the imminent threat is their claim that Dad wants us executed. So, our brothers sent us to live in the house and are apparently okay with Amy cucking them and promised to bring us back when Dad dies, accepting our gender. Morgana called us out for keeping secrets from Giselle after making her bare her soul to us and made us relive our first years at the mansion, and Mom's letters kept wishing for our quote unquote curse to break. The observatory tower held Morgana's one armed skeleton who we pitied. Our mother commissioned a painting from George of our hypothetical appearance as an adult woman, sending our dysphoria into overdrive. Morgana answered our hatred by offering to curse our family, but we refused. We even turned down the curse on Amy, despite hating her, because we still have hope and don't want to hate them, so she kept pestering us to embrace hate. The delivery man is convinced we're insane because we hear Morgana. She burned us with our own emotions, so we embraced our title as a witch and discarded our humanity to survive the pain. Twitch is just having problems, man. I don't know what the issue is. They just hate me. Before we get into this stream, I want to complain just for a second because everyone in these games is trying to be a good person, and I know, like, in theory, as humans, we should all be trying to be good people. But I was kind of hoping that Michael would kind of lean into that and actually, want them all to die, because I would have been on board with that. But I'm just a terrible person, so let's get started. All right, time sputtered back in motion. When you showed up, Giselle, everything I had given up on, and everything I had thought I'd lost, it all came back. At first, as you know quite well, I was deeply mistrustful of you. I hated having you around. But if I hadn't met you, in all likelihood, I probably would have continued down that path and become a demon. But you seem to me like a rather handsome man. I think I get what you're trying to say, but my mental image of a witch is definitely more a woman. So, you're not a witch. That's fair. Yeah. I think that there's a lot about Michael that can definitely be related to. Um, and I'm definitely not saying that it's not a good storyline. I just I keep noticing that as we go through all of these, like, it's all these people trying to resist this hatred. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of didn't mind when Morgana leaned into it and went fuck the world, which is probably makes me the problem. Uh, but I'm glad that you figured it out, chat, and that you processed your feelings, because you're a real person, and that is important. To tell you the truth, I didn't know who might be here, which had me rather scared. But I think I can make this work. It's a pleasure to meet you, Master. After taking care of Giselle, I returned to my room. I was, to be quite honest, dumbfounded. And it was, naturally, the witch who stoked the fire of my apprehension. Why would you let that woman stay here? She came from the Bollinger estate, and we both know how you feel about your family. Chase her out. Give her a little scare, and she'll be gone within the day. If you'd rather not, I could always frighten her in your place. A rattling window here, a couple of broken glasses there. Small things like that to accentuate the eerie atmosphere. Are you going to say anything? Why do you care about her at all? Oh, now don't be like that. I live here too, so why shouldn't I care? And I am not fond of noisy people. Or sprightly women like that one. That's something we can both agree on, isn't it? You don't like that woman, do you? The more a person smiles, the less you can trust them. Though I hardly have to tell you that, do I? Look, a good round of swearing is very cathartic. And I will stand by that. I personally think, even if you do direct it at the person in their face, like, which, disclaimer here, not great. But, there are way, way, way more destructive ways to take out anger. So I would far rather someone did that. Yeah, and live is a very generous term Morgana is using here for her own existence. I mean, I guess she does technically live in our head, maybe. I don't entirely know how she exists. We're back in time, so I kind of maybe, I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I confuse myself. And I am going to look very stupid on the internet. So, we'll stop there. Stop talking. No, that's not very polite. This is a family matter. It is none of your concern. I was merely offering to help you rid of a pest. I don't need your help. I will get rid of that woman when I'm ready. But first, I will find out what secrets she's keeping. Then I will go back to living in peace. Very well, then. That pest has no place in your sweet solitude. The world before you now is so much kinder, so much warmer than the one you used to know. Well, good luck then. And if you need a helping hand, don't hesitate to ask. Oh, and by the way, what now? You've changed, my dear. And I like you so much better like this. I always hated how much you reeked of human. You were blessed with a body like unto God. You were personally created by his hands. I could only dream of having what you have. But you only wanted to deny it. Now, though, you act the part much better. A saint, resurrected by the closest living thing to God. Perhaps this, too, could be considered a miracle. Morgana? Yes? You are a deranged, delusional woman. Why, thank you. I do kind of feel bad for Morgana here. Like, not because she deserves any amount of, kindness here. But she does kind of seem to be doing what she thinks is best, considering the entire thing that happened during her life, right? And we are just resisting it at every turn. We have not asked her a single thing about herself either. We're just like, you know what? You're the annoying person in our head that we just keep telling to shut up. Like, there we go. She does deserve kindness. We just shouldn't excuse her lack of kindness. That's a good way to put it. Like, I mean, if you think about it, she does kind of live there. She lives in our head. The only thing we ever talk to her about is the fact that we think that she's awful. Like, I don't know, man. Is it much of a surprise that she didn't have any sort of character development in however many years this has been? No, I don't think so. Giselle was a woman who smiled a great deal. Her jade eyes seemed to glimmer every time she made a new face, and the more she smiled, the more vibrantly she spoke, the more suspicious I became. I couldn't trust someone who smiled that much, especially not a woman. And the way she kept trying to get friendly with me didn't help that impression at all. I had a hard time believing she honestly wanted to get to know me. I couldn't help but think she was trying to fish for information. Anyone who tried to get close to me had to have some ulterior motive, like Amy, who had only done so to satisfy Mother. Perhaps my mistrust could have been considered paranoia. But even 10 years later, flashes of that nightmare would still come back to me from time to time. It would take more than a few attempts at being nice for me to trust this stranger. Yeah, it is very hard to have any positive character development when you have no one to talk to and reflect off of for years. Like, she's literally sat there and wallowed in her own hatred of all the people who wronged her. And she got wronged a lot. Like, there is no doubt in my mind that she kind of deserves to be the way that she is. It's not great, but also, I if it's not obvious, I excuse like all of women's wrongs. Eventually, I came to the realization that she was hiding something, and I convinced myself it was out of guilt. So I wrote Mother in search of something I could use to tear her down, to get her out of here. I should have listened to Giselle, rather than Mother or the witch. But I'd conflated her with Amy in my mind, so I was unable to see where the truth really lay. I was only able to perceive her as malicious. So instead of her, I put my faith in Mother's words, despite Mother never once doing the same for me. My beloved daughter Michelle, I deeply regret having to put you in this situation. I never wanted to let that woman get anywhere near you. She is a witch, a terrible, sinful witch, a dreadful, tainted woman. She lay with my husband, with your father. She's a lowly merchant girl who wormed her way into our family so she could exploit your father for money. She committed a grievous sin, the sin of adultery. I tried to have her executed, but your father wouldn't allow it. So instead he had her banished to atone for her sins, unaware that you already lived there. And I could not tell him either, for that is mine and your brother's secret. I pray you can find it in your heart to forgive your mother for her failings. Forgive me for delivering a witch to you. I would not be surprised if she tried snooping around. She's a ruthless fiend who will do anything for money. Should word of your curse happen to spread, it would surely draw unwanted attention from the church. We have no allies except each other. Michelle, with this letter, I have included a knife. The blade has been blessed with holy water, which should allow it to eradicate the corrupt, evil soul of the witch. Okay, Mom, thanks. I ask of you, with all my heart, to send that awful creature back to hell. How did we think us going back was going to go very well? Like, that seemed really questionable. Yeah. Oh, so we weren't mad about her sleeping with our dad. We were triggered over the idea that one of our family members got cucked again. Like, I mean, yeah. Why can none of our family figure out how to keep it in their pants? Like, literally. Except for us. Exactly, she's not a vampire. Why does the dagger need to be blessed with holy water? Like, also, I'm throwing shade here, which I feel like I can do because we know that our dad is awful. But it doesn't take a witch to get someone to sleep with your husband, ma'am. It takes someone to have a feminine form, is kind of what it seems like. Like, has she executed all of them, or has she not known about any of the rest of them? Because I guess both are possible. There we go, because we don't have anything in our pants anymore. It was storming that night. Erratic claps of thunder ripping through the sky. Giselle let out a panicked scream, shoving me back, and the look in her eyes kicked into motion emotions I had thought I'd lost. I knew that face. I knew that scream. Because that face had once been mine. I had screamed with that same utter despair at the world. I do not know how we pee. I mean, we eat and drink, so I assume that we do. There's got to be something down there. It kind of feels like God maybe fucked us up a little bit. Like, yeah, you know, the male form was good, like that. But the lack of junk, there were some details that seem to have been missing from this whole transformation that seem fairly critical here. I don't know, man. Plot hole right there. Back to the way things were. Yes, finally. It's quiet again. I'm honestly surprised she stayed as long as she did. In a way, her tenacity is rather impressive. Not many would persist for so long in the face of such obvious disinterest. But you know no one would try to get friendly with you without good reason. Information about you carries considerable weight outside these walls. But the look on her face then. Was that really her just putting on an act because I revealed her scheming? If you think she was afraid of you, you're mistaken. That's how people behave when their sins are brought to light. She was screaming, though, and she looked genuinely terrified when she knocked my hand away. You're not going to let a woman's screams cloud your judgment, are you? I mean, come on. Amy did, like, scream and cry when we'd basically done nothing to her, so Morgana's kind of got a point here. A woman can make a weapon out of anything. Tears, a smile, fear. The day she arrived, you recognized her smile as fake. So surely you aren't going to fall for this. I'm not falling for anything. I feel like I know that frenzied panic. Something doesn't add up. Just nothing, my dear. In fact, what perplexes me is why you simply didn't kill her when you had the chance. Are you afraid of the sight of blood? The blood of your tormentors has no more worth than that of a wild boar. You should have sliced her throat without a second thought. Although, I suppose that would have made quite the mess. Now, that makes more sense. You were not afraid of hurting her. You merely didn't want the burden of having to clean up afterwards. How very like you. Be quiet. Oh, come now. That woman's finally gone, and it's back to just the two of us. And you don't want to talk. Silence, please. As you wish. I will celebrate your accomplishment in silence, my dearest friend. I imagine she's out there, half buried in the cold earth by now. I get chills every time I consider where I would be if I had done as Mother said. If I had killed you, or if out there in the forest you had succumbed to the unforgiving weather. Life had never given me much in the way of good fortune, but you coming back, you being alive, was absolutely a blessing. Yeah, that's fair. I am definitely Morgana. I advocate for crime, and chat, you are definitely more Michael. You cling to humanity. But we are agreed. Pretty ladies have a secret murder streak, and you know what? I'd probably fuck both, assuming that Morgana is now. I mean, Morgana's clearly past adolescence at this point, so yeah, I'd try it. Um, I'm done. I can't take it. Oh, that was absolutely not. I forgot what scene we were in. I'm done. I can't take it. I'm through with this whole world. You don't have any idea what I went through there. How hard it was just to keep myself together. Giselle, I do understand. I know very well how difficult, how painful it can be for no one to believe you, for no one to accept you. I know far too well what it's like to want to scream that you're done with this whole damned world. I truly do. That day, for the first time, we saw past the surface. We got to know each other as people. It was nothing more than a single small step. But for us, it was like we had moved a mountain. I still remember how the light felt as it shone through the windows we opened together. It didn't burn. And while this might sound melodramatic, I feel safe in saying it was probably the gentlest light I had ever felt in my life. Following my reconciliation with Giselle, I started turning back into my old self. Well, I suppose that's not quite correct. I felt a comfort and peace with myself that I had never before. That may have been the first time I was really human. Having someone else around began to feel normal. It was something I was certain I would never have. It was incredible. Though to someone else, our time together may have seemed frivolous and empty, our conversations meaningless chatter. I'd never thought the day would come when someone would laugh at something I said, when someone would smile at the sight of me. However trivial, seeing Giselle smile made me happy. Oh, darn it, where'd you get off to? Are you here? Are you in the vase? What's all the racket? Is, is something the matter? Master! Yes, a cat. Huh? A cat? Ugly Whiskers, have you come back? A naughty little cat's been sneaking into the cellar the past few days, so I'm trying to catch him. If you happen to come across him, don't let him get away. Right. And what will you do once you've caught him? Well, I don't want to punish him. That would be mean. If he insists on coming back, I think I'll take him in and teach him how to be a house cat. You mean to keep him? Are you not fond of cats, Master? I don't mind them, no. Then there you have it. I hope he doesn't take too long to warm up to us. Maybe it'll help if you give him a name? Oh, a name? That's a great idea. What should we call him then? You decide, Master. Oh, don't let us name another cat. You want me to pick a name? This is your house, after all. So it's only right you would be the one to choose. I'm not sure I follow that reasoning. What does the cat look like? Oh no, we're gonna have another ugly whiskers. Well, he's wild, so he's dirty, I guess? And he's kind of got some spots here and there. Is he ugly? Well, I'd say so, yeah. All right then. Ugly Speckles Mark II. I forgot. It's not Ugly Whiskers. It's Ugly Speckles. Pretty close. There we go. Um, that's a name? Why on earth would you want to call something that? And what does Mark II even mean? Be quiet. It's on you if he runs away, Master. My time with Giselle made a normal person out of me. Made me able to tell stupid jokes. To get frustrated or surprised or exasperated. I started showing actual emotion. Our silly, meaningless banter became something precious. My heart of stone began to soften. The world she created for me was what I had yearned for my whole life. Having lost half of it imprisoned and spent the other half playing an identity that conflicted with how I felt in my heart, it was the first time I genuinely felt like I was allowed to be myself. Yeesh, you're not a kid, so don't be so picky. It's not good for you. You make a mockery of the culinary arts. I've heard quite enough, Master. It sounds like I'm going to need to put your taste buds through some intense rehabilitation. How about this, Master? Play a game against me. And of course, if you're open to it, it doesn't have to end there. We can continue getting to know each other for years to come. Giselle. Though I did my best not to show it. There we go. Rehabilitate our taste buds with your taste buds. Clearly, that's how that works. Do not ask any questions. I think that I treasured our time together, even more than you did. I'd latched onto it, desperately refusing to let go. I needed it, and I needed you. Well, I'd like her to come around to who we are now, please, because I'm not liking this. Are you listening, Morgana? I can hear you just fine, my dear. Now, what brings you all the way up here? You know you can call me from anywhere in the house. My bonds to this tower have been broken. This is a conversation we can only have here. The place where we first met. It's time for us to part ways. My desires haven't changed since our first encounter. I wish to be a person. To be a man. Exactly. When I'm with Giselle, I am that. She makes me into the person I always wanted to be. And now you wish to be rid of me, so you can complete your descent into the realm of the unclean. I do. You came all the way up here just to tell me that? A needless formality. I'm sorry, Michael, but we are kindred spirits, as much as you may want to deny it. You could be second to only God, yet you spurn his gift. I am nothing like you. I am a human, nothing more. I shall not condemn you for your unyielding resolve, but rather pity you for being so utterly blind. Allow me to make a prediction before I depart, Michael, cursed namesake of an archangel. You may think that you're making some sort of progress, but the fact of the matter is, you've gone nowhere. Will that smile of Giselle's be able to withstand your secrets? You know better than anyone that no one can accept who you are, not even her. You will never be with anyone. I understand that. No, Michael, you don't understand, but you will soon enough. What you have now is not true happiness. It's empty, naught but a masquerade. And when the night is over, the masks will come off. So what if it isn't permanent? It isn't real? Does being ephemeral make it worthless? Why can I not want something that doesn't last forever? This is the first time I've ever found joy in life. Those moments of happiness only serve to worsen the loss. The sweeter the honey, the more you despair when the pot runs dry. Sooner or later, you will return to me, begging for my help. And I have every intention of giving it to you. I will not hold this over you either. For when you come to me, it will be in the time of your utmost despair. And when your little paradise finally comes crumbling down, you will become what I am. So I will take my leave from your side in anticipation of that day. Until we meet again, my dear. Oh, hello, Master. I was just looking for you. I heated up some wine and thought you might... Is something the matter? No. No, I'm fine. Thank you. No, it's nothing. All I did was warm it over the fire. Are you sure nothing's the matter? I shouldn't be hearing the witch's voice anymore. So, yes, I am fine. Oh, wow! That's wonderful news, Master. I love her reaction here, considering the fact that she thinks that we were just hallucinating the entire thing. She's like, "Wow, you've broken yourself of mental illness. Yay!" It is. Giselle seemed quite relieved when I informed her the witch would no longer be bothering me. I knew she didn't believe in the witch, but that wasn't what mattered. What did matter was that, despite likely questioning my sanity when I had first told her about it, she hadn't tried to pull away. She treated me the same as before. She never stopped smiling. And that meant so much more than whether or not she believed in the witch. With Morgana's voice no longer constantly in my ears, my life started to feel like some approximation of normal. In fact, I would say I was probably happier than most. Nevertheless, I intended to keep a certain degree of distance between us. For what the witch had said rang truer than I wanted to admit. You will never be with anyone. Having been born into this body, that was my reality, and there was nothing I could do to change it. I had come to accept that, or so I'd thought. I wasn't going to covet what I couldn't have, but I had gotten a taste of that sweet happiness. I had started to develop a great affection for that smile. And as much as I tried to tell myself I was just getting caught up in the moment, the feelings would pass in time. I found myself unable to restrain the swelling of emotions within me. Exactly, that's the power of love, capital P, capital L. That day by the fireplace, I thought that all I wanted from you was friendship. To have you in my life, always nearby. I thought that if we were simply friends, I would still be able to see that smile, even if you were to learn what I was. That if we were merely friends, you would be able to accept that. So I would keep these things I felt inside, at all costs. Tougher than diamonds, rich like cream, stronger and harder than a bad girl's dream. However, with each passing day, with each gentle smile, my affection for you swelled. It reached the point where, as hard as I tried to keep it contained, all it would take was the slightest nudge for it to come spilling out. And it made me desire what was out of reach. I was convinced I had changed, because this happiness had become my everyday. I had no right to any such thing, but I came to wish that I could be the center of your life. I yearned for you, and I wanted you to yearn for me. And like the fool I am, I thought that with you, it might even be possible. Exactly. We tried to friend zone her in our own heart. And I get where he's coming from, but also, like, my dude, have you never heard of a fling? Hot girl summer. Like, you can fall in love after that, but you get your hot girl summer first. Like, honestly, it's no trouble. I mean it. You just took me by surprise, that's all. I am pleased. It doesn't matter how it turns out. You drew it for me, Master. Whether it's good or bad is irrelevant. I would be happy with anything drawn for me by the man that I love. Her eyebrows really bug me in this because do they pluck their eyebrows back in I don't remember what time period this is. Like, this girl does she just have perfect eyebrows to begin with? Because I'm jealous. I'm hating because I'm jealous here. Just being very clear about that. That one word set me into motion. For I had long since fallen deeply, utterly in love with you. And there was no escaping that. Listen very carefully. I love you. I love you so much, like my heart. Let me try that line again. If they didn't have eyebrow pluckers, do you think they'd be willing to... How do you pluck your eyebrows with your bare hands? Like, I don't think you can do that. As someone who is very good at losing tweezers, like, you'd have to be really good at it, I think. I love you so much, I feel like my heart is going to explode. There we go, that's the line. I got it. Nevertheless, there was also no escaping my past. What I was. Knowing I could never truly be with you. That I could do nothing about this body. I pushed you away. But seeing all the color drain from your face, I knew I had to take that step. I thought that maybe you could change my world. If you really did love me as much as you said. Together, we could change everything. We could walk a new path, side by side. And so, I decided to trust my heart. Interesting. The use of tweezers dates back to pre-dynastic Egypt. So, yeah, it would make sense if she has some. And I guess it's not like they have a ton to do in this mansion. Like, I guess keeping your eyebrows nice and cleaned up is a good hobby, I guess. I'm in heaven. I'm so happy I could cry. Please don't go back and rewatch the old stream to see how close I got on those lines. I have no idea how I performed those lines to begin with. I, too, was elated. Oh, we have the weird boobs scene. I still don't understand how those are connected to her body. Her boobs are just two melons just sitting on her chest, apparently. Giselle, I'm sure you thought I was a kind-hearted man. The obese rats, yes. That my love for you was pure and chaste. And I wanted to be that for you. But beneath the surface lurked indecent desires. Despite saying I didn't want to hurt you, that just having you by my side was enough, my desire bubbled up at the warmth of your skin. I wanted to let that heat take over, to let my hands run free. I could feel it burning inside me. I longed for intimacy, not just emotionally, but physically. I wished I could lay you down on my bed and satisfy those desires. I wanted to make love to you. Unfortunately, that was not possible. Okay, it is possible though. Like, you just focus on her. You let her be a pillow princess. Like, Michael, you just gotta get creative, my dude. Maybe. Like, they don't seem connected to her chest. And I understand, like, as someone who is not blessed in that area, maybe that's what giant boobs do. Giant obese rats. But I don't know. There's something weird about how those are sitting. Girl's got some weird cleavage. So I didn't have the ability. No matter how hard I try, my body lacks the capability to be one with you. I can pray, and I can long, and I can wish all I want, but my body will never be what I want it to be. I am gray. Though I have always known my true color, I have no way of becoming it. My heart has always known what I am, but the world refuses to accept it. Every time I claim I'm normal, 5 say I'm an abomination. Would it really have been too much to ask for me to be born normal? To let me be who I truly am? Is that really so much to ask? Things began to change when I learned my father, Antonin, had passed away. Georges would, I assumed, be busy preparing to take his place. And if what he had said was true, then I would be welcomed back to the estate. I think you're right. I think the cleavage is the part that makes it look lower than it should be. So if it was connected more naturally, it might be better. Like, it feels like her boobs start, like, instead of being connected up here at, like, the armpit and going down, it feels like they start, like, way lower than that. So maybe I think you're right there. It's just someone who maybe doesn't understand anatomy. I would no longer be a demon child, but a member of the Bollinger family once more. Deep down, though, I couldn't completely believe it would actually happen. After 11 years in exile, I had no idea how they felt about me anymore. I mean, we know what our mother feels about us, considering the fact she keeps sending bullshit. So, would they even remember a promise they had made so long ago? Fear that they wouldn't threaten to consume me. But Giselle, as she often seemed to do, put my mind at ease. No matter where I go, you'll be there with me, Michael. It's true, I am nervous not knowing what the future holds, but not in a scared something bad might happen kind of way. It's more of a jittery, excited anxiousness. I'm confident the two of us can overcome anything, no matter what obstacles may come our way. Look, knowing anatomy, I think, immediately improves your art. So I think that you are doing great. And I cannot wait to see what you start drawing or painting or whatever art you're doing. Together, we can create an even more wonderful future. Could I believe her? Could I have faith in her wonderful future? That she would always be there with me? That we would return to the estate and finally move on with our lives? That together, we would Create a future? No, that wasn't a question. I wanted to have faith. I wanted to believe as much as she did. I wanted to believe that even if I was gray, I could have a normal life together with her. I think you're right. Like, so when drawing realistic breasts, you want to respect gravity and kind of treat it like a water drop. I mean, I can't tell you how to draw them because I'm not a good artist. That is Lemur's expertise right there. But as someone who has them, like, yeah, it is kind of like having a water drop on your chest. That is just, it's like having a water drop on a wall that, like, it's very light up at the top and weirdly heavy down at the bottom. So I think you've got it. She had rescued me from the depths of hell, and now I wanted to make her happy. After taking that step in our relationship, I made numerous attempts to reveal the truth about what I was. How do you attempt to reveal the truth? Do you not just come out with it and say it? Like, what were these attempts? What did this look like? There you go. Look, you will be down with it. You will draw the most realistic breasts if you figure out how to start drawing obese rats on someone's chest. Like, easy. You've unlocked it. You know exactly what to do. Don't even have to go to art school for it. All right, let's see what the attempts are like. But every time I tried, sharp pain gripped my chest, and my words faded into nothing before they could reach my lips. I knew that if our relationship were to continue, I would have to tell her eventually, but merely imagining her face twisted in disgust nearly crushed me. She was everything to me. And so, as we prepared for our departure, I decided it was time to make some changes. It was time for me to break out of my rut. And what happened next depended largely on whether mother and my brothers were willing to accept me as a man. The course my future took was in their hands, in their hearts. If they couldn't accept me, then I couldn't return home. I prayed from the bottom of my heart that things would turn out for the best, that my family would accept me for who I was, and that they would accept what I had with Giselle. I decided I would tell Giselle everything after I received their responses. Yeah, that's fair. There is a lot of mental preparation involved in, sharing a secret with someone. Um, I was thinking more like, uh, instead of thinking that way, I was thinking more like trying to hint at it, and hoping she got the gist of it. I don't know exactly what that would look like, but I'm sure there's someone's got a comedy routine that would illustrate that. I don't know. I couldn't provide Giselle the same kind of happiness a normal man could. But if she and my family accepted me, I would do anything I could to build a happy family with her in my own way. Okay, a happy family can be two people who love each other and just want to spend time with each other. Like, yeah, you can't give her kids, but I don't remember any conversation you guys have ever had about wanting children. Also, both of you are fucking traumatized. I don't necessarily know that is, like a good thing for your future. If I was your family planner. Obviously, you can do it. Just, get some therapy first, maybe. There we go. To hint at it, we make the polar opposite of dick jokes, the lack of dick jokes. We just start leaving Ken dolls everywhere. See if she catches the hint. I have a nut allergy. You don't have to worry about being allergic to my nuts. And so, I sat down to write. Dear Mother, there is something I wish to tell you, something that means a great deal to me. So I ask of you, please hear me out. And I ask of you, please accept it. Mother, I no longer bear any resentment for my present lot in life. Nevertheless, I would ask of you to concede one thing, that I was never cursed, that I was always your son, that I am Michael, not Michelle. I have found someone whom I care for dearly, a woman, and I love her with all my heart. I would like to spend the rest of my life with her. I do not wish for much, simply to have a quiet life with her, to go through our days together, man and woman. That is the one thing I want. Mother, I know you're aware that my body is no longer female. I am a man. My heart is male. And I ask of you to please accept that. I have no grudge with you. In fact, I'm incredibly grateful to you for bringing me into this world. With love, your dearest son. I am trying to imagine his mother getting, like, knowing where our mother's mindset is at this moment. Our daughter is cursed, and we've sent her away for 11 years. Then our husband's mistress has also been sent there. And then you receive this letter that says, "Hi, Mom. I'm a dude. Also, I'm shacking up with my dad's mistress." I can kind of imagine the mental break that might happen there. She's wrong. Don't get me wrong. But I can see where the mental break might happen. He does really, Michael does very much want to enjoy the baby making process with Giselle. I will also point out, he still has fingers and a mouth. He can get creative. So, you know. But rather than a reply, I received a visit from knights ordered to kill me. Yay! Michael, tell me, why do you think this is your fault? What is your curse? Your curse. It isn't just the color of your hair and eyes, is it? There's more to it, isn't there? There's something else, isn't there? Can you hear me, Morgana? Morgana, please say something. Morgana, your predictions, they were right. I was a fool, and you can laugh at me all you want. So please, say something. Death. Death to the unholy one. Death to the heretic. Death to the witch. Why won't you answer me, Morgana? Why can I not feel you there beside me? You said you would help me when I came for it. Well, here I am begging for your help. Please, come back to me just this once. I know you're there somewhere. Please, before they break down the door. Michael, I'm all right. It's okay, Michael. I'm not scared. You're here with me after all. I'm fine. It's all fine. So please, hold me until it's all over. Please stay with me. Michael, my dear, why would you ever believe that fairy tale nonsense? Why would you ever think a wonderful future awaited you? Morgana, here you are now, wretched, pitiful. For that, you have my sympathy. I will help you in your time of need. Finally, you speak. Michael, I can feel the despair emanating from you. You hate it. It kills you. This is how you're rewarded for fighting to be yourself. You know exactly who sent those knights, don't you? They rejected you, rejected what you are. Hey, Michael, are you all right? Your family, unable to accept your body and heart, branded you a heretic and turned you over to the church. Yes, they did. And did you hear what the knights were saying? They've even accused you of being a witch, taken my sins and placed them on you. Come back to me, Michael. You hate them, don't you? You want to curse them, don't you? You want to kill them, don't you? I shall grant you that wish. Out of your hatred and despair, I shall make my own wish. And that wish shall become a curse upon your family's wicked souls. You'll grant my wish then, Morgana? Yes, yes, absolutely. Tell me what it is you want, my poor little darling. Michael! Let your contempt flow free. Give me the names of those you want cursed. I want you to protect her. Excuse me? If they find her, she could be accused of abetting a witch and executed as well. So please, use your power to keep her safe. You said you would grant my wish, did you not? That was not the wish I was hoping for. I know. But that's the wish I want you to grant. Morgana! Then offer me something in return. Such a disappointing wish will require a sacrifice. Step beyond that door, my dear, and witness ultimate despair. That was my plan anyway. So long as I'm considered a heretic and marked for death, my being alive puts Giselle in danger. Indeed it does. Yet here you are, shaking like a scared little child. Of course I'm scared. There isn't a single person who doesn't fear death. I mean, Morgana didn't, but please keep her safe. You're the only one who can help me, Morgana. Exactly, Junko Enoshima intensifies. You have my word. From this moment, I vow to protect her life. Thank you. Giselle, please hear me out, Giselle. I never thought anything good would become of my life. I never thought I would find anyone who truly understood me, who would be happy to have my love. And for that, I hated the world. I was in constant torment, living in the shadows. But then, a single ray of light shone down on me. Michael, you, Giselle, you delivered me from the darkness. I'm scared, Giselle. I'm terrified. I used to think my life was meaningless, that it didn't matter if I lived or died. But now, I can't stop shaking. That's perfectly normal. I'm scared to death too, but what scares me most is losing you. Michael. So please, allow me to repay you. I said I would do anything for you, so let me do this. I haven't given you anything. I haven't done anything for you. So give me one final chance. Michael! What are you doing? Get back in here, Michael! What? Why? The door! I can't open it. Michael? Michael! What did you do to the door? Come on, get back in here! I guess you really can perform miracles, Morgana. I don't want to lose you either. I know that by doing this, I will bring you pain, Giselle. But I can't make you happy, no matter how hard I try. And I realize that now. Say something, Michael. You're out there, aren't you? Please, please don't do anything rash. They're going to kill you if you're out there. Giselle, the witch told me. What? That she would ensure your safety. Michael, she isn't real. There is no witch talking to you. It's all in your head. A figment of your imagination created to alleviate your loneliness. Rest assured, she does not lie. Michael! I pray that someday she will be able to get past this, to move on with her life. She needs to know that's what I want. I have I have to find the right words. Pathetic. My voice is so shaky. Please listen. You are a wonderful woman, Giselle. Spirited, true to yourself, deeply sympathetic. You are not to blame for how difficult your life has been. Most of the fault lies with me and a bit of bad fortune. But that's all behind you now. Once this is over, you can start anew. What are you talking about? So, survive. Live a good, fulfilling life. Move past this. Live your life. And always love your family. I know you can do it. That is my wish for you. No, I don't. I don't want that. I want to be with you. No one else but you. I don't want to let you die. There it is. Death to the heretic. Death to the heretic. Okay, okay, how many times are we going to say death to the heretic? Get back in here, Michael. Open the door. If my choice is to live on without you, I'd rather... Your scars will heal. You'll find a nice man and have a wonderful family. Why? Because you have a good family. You have a mother and a sister who love you. If you were to be executed here with me, you would be marked a heretic as well, and your family would be condemned. I don't want anyone else to suffer that kind of disgrace. But I can't tell you any of that, because I don't want you looking into why I am a heretic. So this is where we part ways, Giselle. Thank you, Giselle, for bringing light to my world. Don't say that! The year we shared together and the months since our relationship blossomed have been the brightest days of my life. But if there is a next life, I hope you don't mind if I pray that we're able to meet again. And this time, that we can find each other once more, in another world, in a body that better suits me. Michael! Michael. I had thought I was prepared, that I was doing something good, something I could be proud of, that I would give my life for her with head held high. But it wasn't long before I realized what the witch had meant. Is that going to be our brother? No, don't let it be our brother. No. Oh, this is going to be painful. What she had warned me about when she had said ultimate despair waited beyond this door. It is our holy duty as knights of the church to deliver punishment unto the heathen who made a pact with the devil. You are sentenced to death, your body to be hanged upon the cross for 3 days and 3 nights, wherein your unholy flesh shall be purified by the fires of heaven. Why? What are you doing here? I stared up at the night, eyes wide, for the voice from within the helm. Didier belonged to my elder brother. Oh. You shall now be executed. Do you have any final words? I knew well enough that Mother was not in her right mind, and while her refusal to accept me had hurt, at the same time, I had somewhat expected it. It made sense to me. In her madness, Mother had declared me a heretic and reported me to the church. But this? But Didier. Men wield swords and fight against dangerous enemies, and they do so to protect the weak, women and children. I am here to protect you and your mother. What are you doing here? Why are you pointing your sword at me? Are you smiling behind that cold steel helm? Frowning? Or staring expressionlessly? Our final word should be to call him a cuck. Exactly. Look, if he's gonna go low like this, we just have to go lower. Though your transformation was too much for Mother and Father to accept, with enough time, everything will go back to the way it was before. Just like it did for myself and George. None of this is your fault. It was all unfortunate timing. You said that it would all go back to normal eventually. Can I trust that even if the whole world says I'm cursed, that you'll always be on my side? That you'll always be my brothers? Can I put my trust in you once more? Didier? Georges? You absolutely can, Michael. I swear to God on high. Did your vow have any meaning at all? I spent years here in this dark house, waiting, believing you would come through for me. So why? Why are you standing there, a half dozen knights at your back, saying I am to be executed? Why? Do, do, do not cry. Don't you dare cry, Michael. You're standing here in front of this door as a man protecting the woman he loves. So you mustn't cry. Who is it you're sentencing to death? Michael Bollinger? Or a demon child, naturally. Or a witch, perhaps. But why? And if I'm not an angel sent from heaven, or a demon child, then what am I? What on earth am I? What are you? You're a Bollinger. You're our family. And that's all there is to it. I thought we were brothers. Our familial bonds have long been severed, cursed witch. Oh, now I see, Giselle. This world never had a place for me. I was never welcome here. Kill him. Oh. So many blades pierced my flesh. Didier's sword in my chest, lances in my arms and shoulders, arrows in both of my legs. I could hardly even tell what hurt anymore. But the pain from within was much clearer. My heart cracked audibly before shattering completely. Don't cry. Do not cry. Tears will only make me more pitiful. So don't you cry, Michael. Don't cry. Oh. I believed in you. Did, Didier. When I was younger, I idolized you. Those broad shoulders, muscular arms, gentle eyes. Everything you said. Your simple but pure desire to become a knight. I thought, if I could be like you, then I could be proud of who I was. No, fuck him. Though that may have faded somewhat after being locked away for so long. My adoration for you never went away. I thought you, of everyone, would accept me for who I am. And I thought you would celebrate my relationship with Giselle. That you would put those big hands on my shoulders, a smile on your face, and say, I'm happy for you. That you would welcome her into the family. That we could go on outings together on cloudy days. And maybe she could make something for us. She's a pretty good cook, after all. Georges would rifle through the basket before lunch, and Didier would scold him. I would be there watching, a proud smile on my face. As unlikely, as out of reach as I knew it was, I still dreamed of a life like that. I had the faintest hope that when we saw each other again, that dream might come true. Didier, I put my faith in you. You may be killing me, but at least you respected my pronouns. Is that being an ally? All right. Well, I'm heartbroken, and so my life came to an end. But that wasn't the end of the story. I don't know if what comes next could be called my story, but memories of these events linger in my soul. After being pierced by Didier's blade, I found myself looking down upon my own corpse. How could I have ever imagined that I would be made to witness my own misery, even in death? I watched as my eldest brother dragged me to the place of my crucifixion, and my soul, evidently still bound to my flesh, was dragged along with it, against my will, down to the nearby village. The knights! The knights have returned from their holy quest! Oh, how we have awaited your arrival! How glorious it is to see you! Waiting for us there was a cluster of villagers. A large cross lay on the ground in the center of the square. Holding torches, they formed a crowd around the knights, several of them familiar faces. The men who had come to ransack the mansion were standing there, staring at my body in awe. The Lord's judgment has been delivered unto the witch of the cursed mansion by his holy servants. Fuck you, Amade. No longer shall we live in fear of the curse befalling us. Eternal peace is assured. We have assembled all the tools you need to execute your divine mission. A cross befitting of such a heinous sinner. That witch threatened to curse us, sullied our pure ears with its blasphemy. I had done no such thing. I hadn't cursed anyone. I had merely been defending myself. They had been armed and outnumbered me, so I had said what was necessary to chase them off. Our poor harvest and our suffering at the hands of the greedy Lord were all the work of the witch. Why then were they acting like I was at fault? Why was I the sinner, and why did I need to be judged? Okay, dude, you know who these people are. You know what they did to Giselle. This should be kind of a foregone conclusion. They're a bunch of bitches. My soul trembled at the overwhelming fervor consuming the crowd, their zealous desire to see judgment cast. So I prayed. I asked God to grant me the smallest of miracles, to let my voice reach my brother who carried my body. Please don't do this, Didier. Please hear my voice. You know me better than that. You know I've done nothing wrong. Those men smirking at the sight of my body, they're the ones putting the blame for their sins on me. Please tell me you, at least, don't think I did those things. Don't put me on that cross. If it was Mother who sold me out to the church, then surely you can give me a respectable burial. The nails and rope for the crucifixion are here. We would have you, O knight, deliver the Lord's judgment unto this vile witch. Didier, why do you say nothing? Why do you accept the tools this man presents you? Tools meant to punish me. Tell me, Didier. Crucifixion! Crucify it! Crucify the witch! My brother lowered my corpse to the ground and began removing my clothing. And in that very moment, I realized the purpose of hanging someone from a cross. Overwhelmed by hopelessness, tears streamed down my face. Please, anything but that. I'm begging you. Don't expose me to these people. Don't expose my body, Didier. I'm begging you. Don't do it. But of course, my voice had no way of reaching him, and he proceeded to remove my clothing piece by piece, until I was left fully nude. For a brief moment, an unpleasant silence spread through the crowd. The erratic crackling of their torches was the only sound that could be heard in the square. And then, with a mocking laugh, one man spoke. Ah, so there it is, the devilish creature. Don't look at me. Please, look away. Or just get it over with and burn me now. Burn my body, please. One simple thing was all I was missing. I had a frame like a man. I lacked breasts of a woman. My heart was male. I was in love with a woman. You sold your soul to the devil, and this is what you became. This frightful, reprehensible creature. To dare defile the sacred body God blessed you with. Was that what people really thought of me? Was there no way to make them understand? Could they not possibly imagine how miserable it was to live in a body that didn't fit the shape of your soul? Was there no way to get through to them, even the slightest bit, that all I wanted was to be what I felt I was? Was that really so heinous a crime? Please, Didier, stop this. Don't humiliate me any further. Please, just let me depart this world in peace. Carry my body away from this place. That's all I ask. And if you can't do that, then at least burn me instead. Didier. Didier. He then placed my body upon the cross, bound my arms together at the wrists with rope, and then drove a nail through my palms. I couldn't look away. I tried to close my eyes, but I couldn't. My vision remained perfectly clear, despite the constant stream of tears. When he was finished attaching my body to the cross, he and several other knights lifted it off the ground, planting it in the center of the village square. The villagers showered the knights with their praise and gratitude. Not for lack of trying, I was unable to get away from the cross. My soul was trapped there along with my body. Didier didn't say a word the entire time. Interesting. So apparently use of crucifixion as a punishment was abolished in the Roman Empire in 337 because Constantine the Great was the first Christian emperor. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Although I will put this out there. There are very few ways to die that terrify me more than crucifixion would. So I will say that is probably a step forward for humanity. You know. There's still horrible ways to die, don't get me wrong, but ugh. After a full day hanging there, grotesque blackish splotches began appearing on my lower body. Everyone who saw it grimaced in disgust. Well, what do you expect? The knights, Didier included, had long since taken their leave, leaving my soul behind, curled up at the base of the cross. A constant stream of tears ran down my face. Despite all my prayers, I remained bound to that place, left to rot on the cross with my body. Passers-by threw rocks or spat on me. Children laughed. A mother warned her daughter to always obey God's teachings. By 48 hours, black-feathered birds and maggots had appeared to devour my rotting flesh. I couldn't imagine any less pleasant a sight than my own body decaying in the sunlight, exposed for all to see. A group of children assembled in the square, not far from the cross, and soon after, a competition began to see who could take down the evil witch. They gathered all the rocks they could find and started throwing them at my corpse as hard as they could. The stones ripped through my decomposing flesh, exposing bits of bone. Eventually, they settled on a winner, the one who had torn off the most flesh, and went on their way. And when they were gone, the birds flocked in to take their place. The third day and night came and went, and at sunrise on the fourth day, I received a visitor. "Watch your step, madam. The crucifix is this way." After everything I had been through, I thought nothing more could possibly affect me. Is this Amy, if this is you, bitch, like, I'm getting off of this fucking cross. I do not care that I've been dead for 3 days and nights and had my flesh ripped apart. I am coming down to fucking brawl. Non-lethal self-crucifixion sounds absolutely horrible. Like, no shade if you do it. You know, that is a lot of devotion. You are very dedicated. Oh my god. I'm not getting anywhere near that, though. Just putting that out there. I had sunk down as far into the abyss as I could go. However, Mother. I knew it was her instantly. Okay, I mean, that's slightly better. I thought it was going to be Amy, so. She was older and bonier than I remembered. She had bags under her eyes so dark they looked like bruises. Her once lustrous blonde hair had faded almost white. But I would always recognize my own mother. "What are you doing here, Mother?" "Father." In the 13 years since I had last heard Mother's voice, it had grown raspy and weak. But there were still distinct traces of it in the woman who had raised me, who had stayed by my bedside when I was sick. Though I lacked a physical body, I still felt a deep, piercing chill at the sound of her voice. "Father, this is not my daughter. I did not birth this accursed thing. No. No, I am her victim. For years I suffered at the hands of this witch. She stole my daughter away from me, tormenting me, endlessly tormenting me, trying to ruin me. A demon. You're a demon. Mother, I despise you, you foul, hellish monster. I loved you. You took everything from me. I could never bring myself to hate my birth mother. I feel nothing but revulsion for you. I loved you. An eternity in the fires of hell would be too good for you. I often disagreed with the things you said and did, but I still remember the feeling of your hand in mine as I lay sick in bed. I have absolutely no relation to this demon. I kept writing you letters, kept pretending to be a girl for you, because I didn't want to hurt you. This is not my daughter. I couldn't stand doing it. Whenever I sat down to write one, I came out a horrible wreck, even worse off than before. But even so, send this monster straight to hell. I didn't want to break you, Mother. I didn't want to push you any further off the edge. Quickly, set me free of this accursed thing. But I suppose I still did end up breaking you. Please be at ease, madam. The Lord has heard your prayers. He wants you to cast the demon into the cleansing fires. He wants you to show him that, as you say, you have no relation to this unholy thrall. Gladly. I'll gladly send this vile creature to the deepest pits of hell with my own 2 hands. Her eyes swirling with every hateful emotion imaginable, Mother took the torch from the priest and tossed it into the pile of straw spread around the base of the cross. The flame crackled as it spread upward, consuming my body and filling the square with the putrid stench of burning flesh. Through the cloud of smoke, I could see a faint smile on Mother's lips. I hope all of you die a horrific death. Sorry, not sorry. The Morgana in me is coming out again. Mother, I'm so sorry. You had to give birth to me. When the inferno had devoured everything, and the cross itself came crumbling down, my soul was finally released from that place. Or rather, I suppose it more shattered. The things I saw, the things I was made to watch, were harrowing. Morgana had been right. The anguish that came after knowing happiness was much greater than anything I had felt before. It eroded my spirit, drained me of the willpower to bear the sight of the world after death. But rather than give in to hatred like Morgana had, I despaired of myself. I didn't curse or bear a grudge against anyone. I prayed for my own extinguishment. My soul began to crumble, neither ascending to heaven nor falling to hell, but fading into darkness everlasting. My fingers were the first to go, then my eyes, and then my mouth. All sound vanished into nothingness. My beating heart, and all the emotions that had once taken root within it, scattered like leaves upon the wind. My soul completely, wholly decomposed. I couldn't stand to allow my soul to return to the living world, no matter what it might take residence in. Some length of time later, I began to hear a sound, muffled and indistinct. No longer human in form, I had no ears to speak of, but the sound gradually increased in volume. It was a voice. Where are you, Michael? What are you doing? I'm still praying. I'm still wishing for you to appear before me. Forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. I've been praying for so long. I don't even know how long it's been. Before you left, you said that you were going to pray too. You said that you hoped we could meet again in another life. I'm not misremembering. Am I? Michael, come back to me soon. As if drawn in by the sound of that voice, bit by bit, I began regaining some of what I had lost. But it took an incredibly long time. My body and soul had been ground to dust. I had rejected myself, scattered it into the void. It would take several lifetimes to find and reassemble all those pieces. Michael, all I can remember about you is your name, your glassy white skin, your fiery red eyes, and your snow-colored hair. Nothing else. Had thought my mind, my body, my spirit, and my heart had all been eradicated. But every time I heard that voice, I thought, I must return. Well, thought is perhaps inaccurate. It was not so much a conscious idea as an instinctive force. I'm doing real good. The voice slowly buried the overwhelming pain I had suffered in both life and death. I began to search for the source of that quiet, constant whisper echoing in the emptiness. Chasing after that tiny fleck of light, the one thing in the world that seemed to desire my presence. Michael, I'm no longer the girl I once was. I've built a thick cocoon around myself. A cocoon I can't break free of. My own protective shell is devouring me. I'm waiting for you, Michael. Waiting for you inside my shell. Always waiting. Will you be able to recognize the person I've become? Please, Michael, get me out of here. At long, long last, I found the ray of light I sought. And I had an absolute certainty that if I followed it, I would reach the source of the voice. I had to find them. I had to set them free. I desperately had to give back to them what they had given to me. And that sense of purpose is what set me back into motion. But the void was so expansive, so endlessly deep, that reaching the end of the trail of light was no easy task. Struggling to follow it to its source wore my barely held together soul thin until it crumbled apart once more. Again and again, I lost myself. I can't account for much of my time chasing after that light. The gaps in my memory are large and infrequent. Nevertheless, after countless cycles of breaking down and reassembling myself, after hundreds of years of wandering, I finally found my way back to that mansion. And when the two of us had our long-awaited reunion, neither of us were our old selves any longer. In my endeavor to return, I had worn my soul down to almost nothing. I was but a vague shadow, completely devoid of memories. And that was the beginning. We met each other anew, lost and broken, devoid of life. The darkness here reminds me of my time in the void, of the despair that filled my shattered soul as it sunk into the endless abyss, of the emptiness I felt as my body crumbled and faded into nothing. Michael, the poor soul who was named for an angel and born with a curse, made to bear an unfairly cruel fate. I am the only one who sympathizes with you, the only one who understands your pain, the only one willing to help you. I'm sure you're not feeling particularly fond of me right now. Not after I made you relive the past you so wanted to forget, every moment of that despair. Not after I revealed your every last secret to the woman you love. But you must face the truth, my dear. You put your life, your very soul, on the line for this woman, and even she would not accept you. But, as I have said before, that's the normal response. She's no worse than anyone else for it. You simply aren't something people can accept. You believe that even if your family wouldn't, that even if your dear brothers wouldn't, Giselle would be able to accept you for you. That she alone was different. That she alone was special. That she alone wanted you in her life. That she alone would extend her hand for you. You never doubted that, did you? But Michael, hope exists to be crushed. And the stronger you cling to that hope, the more you have to lose. You can hear that, can't you? Her mocking you, scorning you, rejecting everything that defines you. The revulsion in her voice. This is the woman you fought so hard to get back. Listen to it, my dear. Focus on her voice. Disgusting. Disgusting, 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 okay. There's a lot of disgustings here. Okay, so what happened after Mom condemned us? She set us on fire. And so we died, and basically filtered into this black void, where we could hear Giselle talking to us as she was going crazy, being stuck in all of those, it basically stuck with Morgana for however long she was stuck. But every time she was talking to us, we could actually hear her. And so we started to try to pull ourselves together in order to reach her. But it took so long because we kept expending energy and then kept falling back apart again. So basically, what we are right now is like this weird non-existent shadow thing, because we've been in this void for so long, and this is what we came out as. Um, and now we're talking to Morgana about the fact that, well, Giselle has not accepted us, and now she's kind of taunting us for it. So, not great. Stop, please. I don't want to hear it. Make it stop. Can you blame her, though? For hundreds of years she waited, trusting you, and you came back to her a woman, more than once. If you think about it, you betrayed her first. Uh, uh, no, stop! Don't, I didn't. Tell me, what was it like? How did it feel to be born and live as a woman? You spent your life insisting you weren't a woman, and yet your soul chose a female body to return in. All those gaps in your memory were from your lives as the white-haired girl. Uh, 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 uh. First, there was the kind, mild-mannered, flaxen-haired boy. You, a woman, and he, a man, were joined in love. And then there was the deranged man-beast. By exposing your female body to him, you were able to temporarily contain his madness. And finally, there was the man obsessed with money and power. You were his wife, ever faithful, waiting patiently for him to remember his love. You put your faith in the wrong person's love. How can you expect her not to be disgusted? She was forced to watch again and again as the man she loved was reborn as a woman and had relations with other men. Would you like to know what you're doing right in this moment, Michael? You're crying. Crying, as you have done so many times before. Those tears, they wash away your dignity. Would you also like to know how you look right now, Michael? You've reverted to your final moments, both in body and in heart. Take a look at yourself, my dear. Your body, incomplete, only partially male. The wounds, still fresh and raw, pierced by your brother, whom you trusted completely, and the knights whose ranks you dreamed of joining. Even now, your blood still flows from those wounds. They will never heal, not so long as you remain yourself. Hey, we have a body back! It's not pleasant, is it? It hurts quite a bit, doesn't it? I did not inflict those wounds on you, though. They are your own, and no one can erase them. You've lost everything, Michael. Tell me, what do you have left? You were robbed of your pride, your dignity, your life, your identity, your very existence. And the love you thought you still had? Well, she's gone and left you behind too. And still you refuse to curse anyone. Why do you not take what you deserve from those who stole everything from you? You have every right to vengeance, and I'm offering you the means to have it. Curse them, my dear. I cannot curse anyone. You disappoint me, Michael. But if that's what you want, if you won't join me in my hatred, then so be it. I will accept we are not as similar as I once thought. And as much as it pains me to do so, I will release you. I will even wish for your reconstruction into the body you desire. You shall descend into the mortal realm as a human man, never to set foot in this cursed mansion again. Imagine it. After waiting for so long, you will finally be able to obtain the body you so desperately seek. have a wife and create a happy family of your own. Wouldn't that be just lovely? I assume, so even if Giselle hates us, what happens to her and us now? Do we just go back to the house, but it's really awkward? Do we die? I mean, if she's offering us a way out, I assume that Giselle would be staying, which is kind of what Morgana wanted, I think. So she's still got an instrument to inflict her hatred with. She's just willing to let us go, is my guess. I'll make that wish for you, my dear. You can have that life. All you have to do is walk out the door. It's that easy. Just let go. Let it all go, Michael. I. 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 Oh, well, I hesitated. I sat there and went, oh my God, what do we do? So we missed that option. But apparently, don't listen to her. Maybe that was the right option to do. I hope so. Because otherwise, this is going to be a lot to go through again. Don't listen to her. Don't trust anything she says. Don't trust anything she shows you, Michael. You told me you believed in my love. That if it could survive for hundreds of years, it must be real. So don't start doubting it now. Oh. Open your eyes, Michael, and look at me. Just imagine Morgana singing Let It Go from Frozen. I won't subject you to my voice singing it, but yes, love it. Listen to me, please. Listen to the sound of my voice. Michael, will you listen to what I really think? How I actually feel? I would never, ever push you away. Do you remember what I said, Michael? When you broke through the cocoon I had built around myself? I said that I would never come to hate you. I still stand by that. My feelings haven't changed in the slightest. It doesn't matter what kind of past you had, or what kind of secrets you kept. I still love you. You accepted me, Michael. I spent hundreds of years trapped in this place, watching as tragedy after tragedy befell its residents, slowly losing my grip on myself until I had been twisted so far I could tell them like stories with a cold smile on my face. And despite what I had become, you still took my hand. You still said you loved me. No matter what horrors you've experienced, I will always and forever take your hand. Michael. Giselle. Please have faith in me, Michael. Don't believe what some illusion says. Believe me. Believe the real me. You have it backwards, Giselle. The truth is, I never once doubted you. What? I never doubted your love. Michael. I despised myself. I hated that I was so weak, I couldn't even bear being rejected by a phantasm to look like you. I didn't want you to see me like that. I didn't want you to know I was so weak, to see my past, to see me now, a pitiful, unsightly mess. I couldn't stand the thought of you seeing any of that. If only in your memories, if only for you. I wanted to be gallant, to be a man. I wanted to be the man who never cried, who never showed weakness, and who died trying to protect you. I didn't want you to know. that I was so weak, that I was such a sad, frail person, and not even a real man. Michael, I didn't want you to see that. Morgana was telling the truth. I opened the door to our past in order to bring you back, but that wasn't the whole story. I kept details about myself out, things that would make me look bad. There's no one as shameful and reprehensible as me. No, Michael. There's no one in this world as admirable as you. You remain true to yourself to the end, no matter how bad things got. Day after day, you fought all alone, despite being put through hell. Yet you chose not to curse those responsible. Only once did you ever consider cursing someone. Your father. I remember that day very well. I was too stupid to realize it at the time, but you did that for me. The one time you ever wanted to curse someone was for me. Give yourself a little more credit. You did perhaps come off as a bit inscrutable, but deep down, you're truer to yourself than anyone. Your motivations simple and pure. Your heart full of kindness. Know that you're a wonderful, admirable man, Michael. Be proud of who you are. That doesn't change how much suffering I put you through, Giselle. I was the white-haired girl. The girl in the portrait was me. It was all me. I came back more than once, showing up a woman and then disappearing again, hurting you completely unaware, pushing you away, leaving nothing but tragedy in my wake. I'll never forgive myself for what I did to you. Have faith in yourself, Michael. Follow your heart. I know it was a secret you didn't want revealed, but for me, I couldn't be happier to know the truth, because it shows just how incredibly much you love me. And not only in life, the hundreds of years I spent trapped in this mansion, you spent searching for me. In that vast, empty, hopeless void, you heard my voice. Your love guided you to me. When you had lost everything, your love for me still lived on. Even as it tore you apart, you kept fighting to make it back to me. A few blinks in your memory don't account for how someone so fiercely determined could suddenly become a completely different person. But, Giselle, how am I supposed to believe that? How am I supposed to believe that wasn't me, when everything about us is exactly the same? You are not the white-haired girl, Michael. Have faith in your own heart and the things you stand for. Have faith in your true self, in the person you are, the shape of your soul. You were never the white-haired girl, and you never will be. Remember when you first arrived at the mansion, Michael? I took your hand, and together we watched dozens of different lives play out. Were your memories anywhere among them? It wasn't behind those doors that you found yourself, but in the remnants of the months we shared here. Was the white-haired girl anywhere in your memories? You are Michael, no one else. But that doesn't change what my body... I know you, Michael. I know who you are deep down. I love you from the bottom of my heart. And I want you to understand that. To know how I feel. Though we only shared our love for a month in life, it was enough for me to wait hundreds of years for your return. And you fought with everything you had to make it back to me, to get me out of here. You are the greatest man I have ever known. Giselle, how is it You always manage to see straight through me, Giselle. To give me exactly what I want. That smile. That single ray of light in the endless dark. We're just easy to please. Like, let's be honest. We have been stepped on by so many people that, like, the slightest bit of, like, Facebook level encouragement, and by Facebook level, I mean, like, those really elaborate, like, good morning things, or the, uh, inspirational quotes, like, written on a wall. Those would inspire us. We have been so beaten down by the world. But Giselle is wonderful too. To say exactly what I've so desperately yearned to hear. The words I've sought for countless years. Giselle! I reach out for her, but she's begun to fade, her outline hazy and blending into the surroundings. And all I manage to grab is empty air. I want more than anything to feel her warmth right now, the sensation of her skin against mine, but there's nothing there. That is sometimes what someone needs to hear. I should point out, when I am having dark moments, I actually do, like, just look up inspirational quotes, to try to, like, push myself through things, which is absolutely corny as hell. I understand. But, you know, sometimes you can't rely on people to tell you what you need to hear. Sometimes you gotta go find it yourself. So, please, Giselle, don't leave my side again. Don't worry, I'm right here with you. I'm not going anywhere. Giselle, put your hands on my shoulders. Wrap your arms around me. I can't. I want to so much, but I can't feel you there at all. You can, Michael. I promise. Close your eyes. Now reach forward, slowly. You can feel me there, can't you? Now grab my titty. That's my finger, and that's my hair, and that's my boob. Those are my eyes, and here are my lips. Here's my heart, where I keep all the feelings you gave back to me, and my love for you. In body and in spirit, I am all yours. Can you sense me here beside you? I think I can. Now, hold on and don't let go. You know, it's kind of funny. We're like two awkward kids around each other, bound together by a love so amazingly powerful. Yet we only ever held hands a few times, and embracing is like some kind of incredible achievement for us. And we're supposed to be full-grown adults. Kiss me, Michael. We never got the chance while we were alive. Giselle. Or are you going to tell me to wait again? Not this time. I feel my way around the emptiness where she is. Her skin, white but not pallid. Her slightly flushed cheeks, dimpled by her smile. Her lips, which at times called me master and at times called me Michael. Her entire being. This woman who accepted me as a man. Who even in death continued to bring me back from my darkest places. She is my everything. I feel a faint breath against my neck, somewhere between a sigh and a giggle. I feel her warmth, which I thought I would never know again. The soft touch of her skin. I envision her face before me, where I'm sure it is, with her eyes closed, and I press my lips against hers. I feel like we need to, like, have this celebration moment. We finally have the balls to do that. We finally kissed the girlfriend we've had for a month. Yay! Yay! I'm so sorry. I've been so corny during this stream, but that's fine. That's what y'all are here for, right? It's a quick, clumsy affair, just a little peck. Not the kind of kiss two grown adults might be expected to share. True love's kiss wakes us up from the nightmare coma! But nonetheless, a gentle warmth spreads through my body from the place our lips touched. It's a sensation so pleasant, so nice. I can hardly believe it's real. Our surroundings dissolve, and the world takes on a new face. A plane of tranquil light created by Giselle, into which the mansion's darkness slowly seeps. The difference is, now I'm not afraid to step back into it. All it took was that single, irreplaceable moment to change my everything. Though I can't see her there, I can feel her presence right beside me, her heart, and that she too can feel mine. I won't falter anymore. I'm through hesitating, wavering about in fear of my own weakness. I will look to the future. I will believe in myself, because she believes in me. I'm done carrying the chains I created for myself. I have work to do. No more looking away from my responsibility. As the light dims and darkness begins to take over, I hear her voice in my ear. Michael, can I ask you to lend your hand to someone? You've set me free, and now I'd like you to do the same for her. This is something I don't think anyone else can do. Only you can rid the mansion of its darkness. I'm here with you too. So let's open the final door together. The true final door. We can put an end to all this tragedy. I know we can. Now, off we go, Michael. And do not let go of my hand. Suck it, Morgana. Giselle? Reality fades back into view. I'm looking at neither the endless, eroding darkness nor the visions of my past, but the sea of blood spreading in all directions. I'm standing at the top of the observation tower outside the door. I've returned. Back in Morgana's world, her bitter, hate-filled, curse-fueled world. To tell you the truth, I did not see this coming. This is my mansion, my domain. I agree, this does seem like a good place to end soon. She was supposed to be locked up, but it would seem my will is not as absolute as I had thought. And we'll end here. All right. I'm actually going to put it here, just in case. All right, so next stream is Sunday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. Trying to think if there's any announcements. I cannot think of any off the top of my head. As a reminder, if you do need to catch up on anything, we do have the YouTube channel. You can watch our videos on demand. I don't know, like and subscribe. Is that what the kids say now? I don't know. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Thanks for hanging out, and be back on Sunday. Thanks all. Good night.